Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bring you three unique perspectives from varying skill range. I am the hidden one of this episode, Andrew. With me, the one who puts the ass in assassin, Keith.
You had to have already used that because I was just waiting for that to be my intro.
Possibly, but I haven't done this one. And the one who puts the higher in the creed, Aaron.
All right. I did not expect that one. Yeah, that one is a good one, actually. I'll give that to you.
Did you get it?
I do.
Okay, good.
Because I'm 6 feet from the edge, so.
And this week, Aaron picked the game. We decided to play Assassin's Creed Mirage by Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed Mirage is a third-person stealth action game where you are playing an assassin trying to take down the organization of, what are they called in this one? The Order. That's what they are. The Order. Which takes place in ancient Baghdad, where you are playing as Basim. If you have played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you may recognize this character. But this is a prequel to Valhalla as to how Basim got into his position that he did. But going around, whether or not, before we get into this, I just want to say this episode is quickly sponsored by Gunner Glasses. I was given the latest glasses of the Borderlands, which actually came in a pretty sweet case.
Oh, that is cool.
That is cool. See that?
Yeah, the only thing I was...
Does it say Borderlands 4 on it?
No, it does not. And even like the glass, the wipe also has
that's cool.
Psycho on it.
Really cool.
The only thing I was a little disappointed, it didn't come with any in-game like cosmetic things. We also got the Call of Duty Aviator ones, and that at least came with a charm. This one doesn't come with any like skins for Borderlands, so a little disappointed in that. But overall, these glasses are very comfortable. Because I'm not a big Aviator fan, so the Aviator glasses are kind of get a little tiring. But these ones are super snug.
So they block out, is it like blue light?
Blue light and yellow light? That's normally, isn't the yellow light that's supposed to be in monitors?
Yeah, the ones that cause eye fatigue and stuff like that.
Yeah, they work very well because I've been looking at my monitor and it's like, it doesn't do much of a hue on it, but it makes everything much more smoother.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying them. So thank you so much, Gunner Glasses. But getting into whether or not Assassin's Creed Mirage is a game or a pass, I guess I will start this off. I don't know what to give it. Overall, I think I'm going to give it a pass. So Assassin's Creed Mirage is meant to be more of a traditional Assassin's Creed game. So if you were someone like me, or probably any of us who's played, the old Assassin's Creed games, this one's very much more true to that. Because as of recent, Assassin's Creeds have gone a little more RPG with a gear score, leveling up, make sure you go to a different area of a higher level. And this one, to get rid of all of that. Assassins, when you assassinate someone, they're going to be killed. There's a few exceptions. But this is meant to be kind of more true to form to old school Assassin's Creed. But the only reason I'm giving it a pass, it's not a bad game. It's Assassin's Creed. After playing about 8 hours, I'm like, I have not done a single thing new. I have seen all this. So it's like, if you like Assassin's Creed, you're gonna like Mirage. Overall, I think I liked Mirage more than a lot of other series because I like the old style. I don't like the gear score, but once you get into the story too, I didn't care for these characters. So it's not a bad game. Overall, I still enjoyed my time with it. It just didn't do much for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been big Assassin's Creed guy, but every time I've played one, I've always enjoyed them. Like they are fun games to play, and so I think just like as a series, I give this a game in general. But I'm with Andrew in that I wasn't playing this at any point going, "Wow, I've never done this before in an Assassin's Creed game." I think the closest I came, as I asked you, is I was like, I don't necessarily remember if you had like some of these like kind of like quick assassinations, like as you're walking along through a street or whatever, and that was kind of fun. But I might have just missed that in other games too. So it's fun. It's a game in general, but it's not like you have to play this Assassin's Creed. It's just play one if you want to play one, and you'll probably have a good time.
It's funny because I feel like we're, at least Andrew and myself, we're going to end up in the same spot, but for different reasons. This is a pass for me.
Man.
But unlike what Andrew said, I like the RPG of the newer Assassin's Creed because it scratches that itch. As I've said multiple times on here, I like ARPGs. I like RPGs. I like things of find gear, make numbers go up. I like that. I get that that's a very unpopular take. I know that most people prefer the classic, and I think that's why this game was made in the same year that um, Assassin's Creed Shadow came out. This came out, and they're both an Assassin's Creed game, but they're both different. Odyssey, to this day, Odyssey is my favorite Assassin's Creed game. In fact, I think it's like one of the only ones that I probably near 100% of that thing because I loved it that much.
How many Assassin's Creed games have you played?
Not many of the old ones.
Oh,
I think I remember, I have some memory of the first one and I have some memory of the second one. And I remember watching you play Black Flag, but I had never played Black Flag. So it was never a series I entirely loved. It was really random to get into Odyssey because, again, this was just not a series that I was totally in love with. But my issues with this game, I'm okay with it going back to a traditional Assassin's Creed, but I just think this game is really surface level and not much more beyond that. And that's ultimately why I get to a pass on it.
man. So Assassin's Creed, this is such a weird series. Like, I like Assassin's Creed games. I feel like you really like this franchise, Aaron. Like you said, you haven't played the old ones, but I feel like anytime we've talked about Assassin's Creed, you've been like loving them. Obviously, except for this. Yes. I never finished it either. I'm pretty far in it, but okay. I wanted to ask you this.
Yeah.
All right, especially since you didn't play the old games.
No, but I
Do you know
remember
what
it.
is going on?
Yes.
Do you know what is going on with the sci-fi stuff?
Yes. Kind of. Because that stuff does exist even in the newer Assassin's Creed games as well. So it's the Templars and the Assassins have basically been fighting against each other for millennia. And
they've kind of steered away from the phrase Templar.
yeah.
Like they still kind of are, but like every game I feel like they're coming with a new name. I'm granted they're doing it with the Assassins as well.
So
but yeah.
you're in the future a descendant of the Assassins. So you're kind of fighting them in the future by using the past to kind of piece things together. If I remember correctly, it was something along those lines. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is kind of something I wanted to bring up. Of like, where do you like? Okay, if someone went to you today on the street today, hey, I really want to get the Assassin's Creed game. Which one should I play?
Oh gosh. Part of the problem is just there's so many of them.
Exactly. Yeah. This is what I think is so weird about this. I feel like there's too many of them. I love this sci-fi element to it, but I've played majority of them. I have no idea where it's going. Heck, even Ubisoft, I think it was after like either Syndicate or like Unity, when I'm not going to try to spoil things, when a character in the present died, even Ubisoft kind of came out and they're like, we don't know what we're doing with the story. Like they were kind of like, we don't know where we're going with this. And that's what ever since that moment, it does feel like, oh, it still exists, but it's just sprinkled in there. And it made me think, especially with Mirage, because there's no modern, like usually Assassin's Creed game will start with a modern, here's the guy you're playing, you're seeing his ancestry, and that's how you're playing the game. The Mirage does not start with that, but he obviously is dealing with the sci-fi. And I'm like, man, if someone does not know what's going on, this must be very confusing.
Yeah.
So that, I mean,
you can
that
add me
is
into
a
that.
place. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a place where I feel like you have to play them in an order if you want to understand the story.
Yeah, but what order?
Well, I mean, I
That's what I
don't
mean.
know, because that's the thing is I remember playing the very first Assassin's Creed. What was it? PlayStation 2, I think.
Sounds right.
Maybe alongside the Xbox that came out, and
I think it was a 360. No,
it might have been. It might have been
Xbox.
360. It was many years ago, and my whole point about that is that I remember it being this intriguing story. Like, oh, cool, you're sent back in time, and your ancestors, through DNA, you're living their past, and that's like how you become an assassin. That was a really cool story. And then over, again, when you just have so many different stories that you end up telling, you end up needing to tell wild stories to keep coming up with them, at least to link them back to the same thing. Because like you can have the same, quote unquote Romeo and Juliet story 10 times over, the star-crossed lovers, but you can't have that 10 times in the same series and have it make sense or whatever. Like it had to change. It's off the rails. And so yeah, you pick this up, and me having played at least that first game or having played some of the older ones, when it says like, oh, you asked stories about this character, let me tell you more. When did I ask them? Beats me.
It was 2007. Well, PS3 and Xbox 360 is the
Okay,
first
so it was
Assassin's Creed.
360.
That
But even
is-
still, yeah. I mean, I remember just the story being intriguing, and then I don't know. Now it's something.
in some ways just rehashing and rehashing and rehashing. And obviously, nobody creates a game anticipating making 14 of them. So, nobody builds out a story arc that's going to cover all of that time. And heck, even when I was playing the more modern Assassin's Creed games, the future stuff, or I don't know, maybe present day, whatever you want to call it, was lesser and lesser. Like it was there, but you were kind of like, it was there because it felt like it had to be there. It was totally unnecessary, and you hated.
It was like beginning and end.
Yeah, you kind
of
of
like how the game ended.
You
with
like
it.
hated being in it because it was like, just get me back to the fun stuff. Not me just walking around a cabin or something like that.
Reading stuff. Yeah.
So the concept though is cool. Like I think that concept is really cool. It's just how many times do you do it and it stops being cool? I don't know. Probably by game 5, it just becomes a little mundane at that point.
Yeah, but I think you made a good point though, Aaron, of how many of these games there are, and I think that's just generally my issue. Like, I really like Assassin's Creed. I like the series. I'm not a huge hardcore fan. Like, one of my friends, like day one, he buys any Assassin's Creed that comes out. He loves them, and it's like for me, I'm like, they all kind of feel the same. I was enjoying the overall story, but I'm like, I'm so lost with it. I don't care anymore. And like, I think they just, Ubisoft flooded the market too much, I think, with Assassin's Creed games. And they also just honestly bungled what ones they came out with. Like Assassin's Creed Shadow, I feel like since the second or third game, people asked to go to feudal Japan. Like they should have came out with that game like a decade ago. And now it's like they came out with a time where there's so many feudal Japan games. And it's just like, well, now you're placing it at a bad time. And that's a little bit how I felt with also Mirage. This take place in like an older, like a ancient Middle Eastern area. It takes place, in Baghdad, which obviously hasn't been in Baghdad, but we've seen kind of this locale. I mean, heck, the first Assassin's Creed was in like Jerusalem.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought we've seen the Middle East before, which is fine too. Like, don't get me wrong.
And then Origins was in Egypt, which
Okay.
I know these are different countries, but they're still like kind of a Middle Eastern area. So for me, I was just like, the locale of this game is just kind of like, eh.
I mean, you're going to run out of locales at some point. Again, you're so many games deep into this thing. You're gonna end up rehashing some of those locales.
Yeah, and that's fine too, because you can tie in their stories, like, hey, like this is a character you interacted with as part of the Order, the Assassins, the Hidden Ones, whatever they call them in a given game. It's like you can tell their story and expand on that, and that's all fine and well. Go back to it, but yeah, it's just I don't know. Partially, I think the fact that I've played maybe 4 throughout the years, but we played Odyssey. I think I played maybe a couple others, like, and there's been so many. It almost, to me, it almost doesn't matter, I guess, if you've rehashed them or not.
So I want to kind of break this down a little bit. So let's just say, and Andrew, maybe you're the most well versed in this, but let's say you are not an Assassin's Creed fan. This is kind of like your first foray into it. So you're listening to this video saying, should I check this out? Story wise, even if you kind of ignore the grander stuff, and I don't think this does a ton of grander stuff, like you said, there is no modern time stuff. It does kind of seem focused on the story in the game, albeit with a lot of backstory that you might not quite understand. Do you think that story is even any good?
No.
I think it's awful.
This is kind of my complaint. Your character, Basim, there's no backstory to him. You literally start off
zero motivation
with your friend. Hey, you guys are thieves. You're stealing stuff. Oh, you work for the Assassins. Oh, something happened. Now you're part of the Assassins. I could care less about this protagonist. Honestly, even like the way he looks is very forgettable. If I had a lineup of characters and you put the protagonist in that lineup, I probably couldn't pick him out.
I mean, that's perfect. He's a perfect assassin. You can't pick him out. But I'm gonna.
That's true, Keith.
But I don't know. I feel like it's so early in the story. I think it's before they even put the intro screen on there. That the event happens. So I don't know if I would call it a spoiler, but they immediately make you super unlikable. And I get that they're trying to make it like the hero's tale or whatever, but the event is 100% your fault, and you immediately blame your best friend. And
Yeah, I'd say like the worst things to
he's
her.
like, I never want to see you again. Like,
You saved my
what?
life. Get out of here.
I mean, at the same time,
It's
you
so
know,
nonsense.
that scene is awful for multitude of reasons. You've named a bunch of them, but it's also so on the nose that you are going to see that best friend character again.
Oh, 100%.
Which the reunion is also very weird.
I know. So even when that scene is happening, you know what it's doing. Like, I immediately
Yeah.
knew what this was doing. It was like, okay, here we go. I was a few hours into this game, and I sat there for a second and said, like, what? This is such a stupid thing to think, but what is my purpose? What is my purpose here? I don't know what I'm motivated by. Am I motivated by revenge? No.
Well, I don't know if you remember, there was a very quick cutscene basically saying, Baghdad's in a terrible place right now. The government is oppressing people and killing
Sure.
people, and you're trying to, right
But
the wrong.
you were-
So
Very
let's set this in the middle of Detroit, and you're just someone who was raised in Detroit and doesn't like how things are, so you're just gonna clean up the city and like, and like, don't get me wrong,
But it doesn't.
Wait,
Even,
is that RoboCop?
but it doesn't even
Are
necessarily.
you RoboCop?
But it's not even obviously doing that, because you're just a thief. Like,
Yeah.
all you are is a thief that just wants to do more. Like, that is
It's
literally
not like your
purpose.
parents were killed.
No,
or as far as I know.
yeah.
Well,
It's so
hold on. I gotta say, I'm assuming I know they explain more of your character.
yes.
So I guess we should point that out. I didn't beat the game. I'm like halfway. The time to beat is about 16 hours. And yeah, I'm like 8 hours
Yeah,
in.
not a horribly long
I
game.
do know there is a whole segment where it actually explains more of your character in the past. So I'm at least coming at the perspective at the moment of 8 hours in, and I could care less about my character.
Yeah, well, my whole point is, when you're talking about kind of building, the pacing of the story is awful.
Yes.
It's very much just move, and it so nothing settles. I think the character development is slow, if at all existing, because there are plenty of characters in this that are just characters, but they have literally nothing else to them. They are just existing.
There's a couple times where like, hello, friend, do you remember me?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Nope.
no.
not particularly. So just story in general, to me, this was a huge bummer. Even if you didn't know the greater arc of Assassin's Creed, which those people obviously do exist. If you're just coming into this just to play the game and you just assume you're going to get a story with a starting, middle, and end, it does have those things, but it's not good. I don't think anything there is original, unique, or interesting.
So here's kind of what I took this as, and I could be 100% wrong, is that the idea was, as Andrew said, let's give this kind of the old school feel of it. And it was supposed to just be almost like a little like love note, so to speak, to the Assassin's Creed fans. And I know there's some divisiveness, to what the Assassin's Creed fans want, I guess. But like, hey, it's the old game. Here's just like a quick 16-hour romp of a game. Almost like a DLC, like one of those types of deals. Like it's obviously not. It's a 16-hour game. It's a full game, but it's almost meant to be like a side story DLC of just kind of throw away and give you something in the meantime before we give you one of those 100+ hour Odyssey games or Valhalla games.
It does feel like that. It does, and you gotta consider, Assassin's Creed Shadow did not come out under good terms.
No, it did not.
It
That is
met
putting it very lightly.
it met a lot of backlash. So much so they delayed the game literally to try and fix some of the I don't
Controversial
the
stuff.
controversial stuff. They wanted to. There was something about destroying ancient things in Japan that didn't sit well with a lot of people, so they had to go back and fix a lot of that stuff. So you could be right. There is elements of this game that do feel pretty low budget. The voice acting in general seems
Yeah.
kind of low budget when you compare it to a mainline Assassin's Creed game right now, which are pretty decent in their presentation. This one did feel like it had some rough edges. It's not bad. it's not bad, but it doesn't feel like it had a AAA gloss put over it. So yeah, you could be right. This could have been a smaller team that was put together to just kind of create a classic feel, but it was just made maybe as a, hey, we still make good games to that
Still
group of
still
people.
love us. Well,
I
because
mean,
here's another
the game's
complaint.
kind of copy and paste, so I kind of agree with that, Aaron.
Because here's another complaint I have. Because I feel, I don't know, unless you guys have more to talk about in the story, I was going to jump into the gameplay.
Well, I do a little bit. No.
All right.
I
All right.
there's,
Well,
there's
go-
one more thing I want
I'll
to
let you
mention with
go
the
there then.
story. The other issue I have a little bit with the story, I don't fault the game for this. This is me being a dumb American, but this obviously, is in Baghdad. And as people are talking, they speak English, but when they're saying phrases or places, they speak in Arabic, in which in the subtitles, they kind of translate a little bit. There's a handful of times they say a bunch of things, a location, a person, or a title. And I'm like, I'm so lost. To me, as a dumb American, I'm like, this is just jargon. Like, I wish the text had a color coding of like, oh, if it's pink, that's a verb, or this is a noun. Because like a lot of times they're like, oh, he went to baga baga baga, and I'm like, what is that a person? What is that? And then they're like saying things to each other, and I'm completely lost in the story because I don't understand what they're saying sometimes.
Maybe you just don't read good, because that didn't bother me at all. I
Okay,
feel like I got along pretty well
The
with that.
one
'cause
that really bothered me, it was right after the first assassination. You guys sit down and you're like, we're going to open more bureaus. And she's talking about people and places are opening bureaus. And I'm like, who was that a person? I don't know what you just said to me.
There's also
Granted, I guess in the
codex.
grand scheme of the game, it didn't affect the story. And like I said, I'm not faulting the game for this. I know this is more of my shortcoming, but there was a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know what they just said to me. So I guess I'm just going to keep going.
I like that your solution was color code the words for me. Like,
well,
what are you, 6?
No.
Can I get a
what
little? Can I
game?
get a little card? A little
Yeah.
color card?
No, what game was it? There was a game we played recently. I want to say it was like Avowed. It was an RPG, but anytime a in-game
It was
reference was put in, you could
it
hit a
was the-
button.
The one on the oil rig.
I think it
never
might.
mind. Never
Oh,
mind.
Still Wakes
not
the Deep?
not Still Wakes the Deep. No, it wasn't that.
Well, that one did the same thing as far as like the Scottish interpretation.
That's true.
Translations.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
No, it was an RPG we played. But whenever someone said like a locale, there was a button you could hit and it could refresh your memory. Oh, this was this city that's in this location. It was like, oh, okay, and you could kind of follow along that way. And like I said, I'm not faulting the game for it. I know it's more me being a dumb American, but there was a handful of times I'm like, I don't know what they just said to me.
Fair.
But anyway, go ahead, Keith. You can talk about gameplay.
So this is kind of piggybacking on this. Like, it's kind of the throw together shortened version of this game. So Assassin's Creed has something that I love and I hate. It's all about the parkour and all of these things. So everything is super snappy. Like every pole you go to is just like snap, you land on it. It makes it very smooth, but it's always made it a little choppy, but they've done a very good job. This one does not. I feel like hopping from a pole to a pole, it's like very slow, pause, stop, pause. Never did I feel like I was like parkouring through the city. And now maybe I get some skills later on that I didn't get to, but it didn't have that Assassin's Creed feel, but it did all of the things that Assassin's Creed does, if that makes sense.
I had any issues with the parkour. I thought it flowed pretty nicely. I feel like the complaints that you're mentioning right there, I feel like they've always had that, where it's felt smooth, but there's still some chop there. There's still some things that are going to slow you down, or you're going to go to a corner that there's not another thing to jump to. I didn't have any issues with it. I mean, did you think the movement was bad, Andrew?
No.
Or just
To me, I mean, it was
choppy?
very Assassin's Creed. It was still the same.
Maybe that's just a personal thing then.
I think it is.
It feels pretty much the same to me. That stuff I don't have an issue with. All the assassins still feel like exactly the same. None of that stuff feels any different or unique. I can't think of one thing that it was presented to me that I was like, oh, okay, well, we haven't seen that before, including a flying eagle to scan everything. That's all still there. Still Ubisoft, so your map is still littered with.
No, this one
It is
definitely
toned down.
has fluff cut down.
It is
It
toned
definitely
down.
has.
But there are still a lot of markers on your map.
There is. But it's like shopkeeper. And I'm like, I don't need to know where every stinking blacksmith shopkeeper is. I visited him like 3 times.
If there
like, come on.
is, in fact, this is kind of mentioned in dialogue. if there is one element that is quintessential Assassin's Creed, what do you think it is? Like, if you were to nail it down to this is like the Assassin's Creed thing.
In reference to what? Like gameplay
Yeah,
or map?
gameplay.
Or, I mean, the assassins? The assassinations?
No. And they even mention in dialogue, it is the freaking leap of faith.
Oh,
To
yeah.
this day, the leap of faith, it still is an exhilarating feeling. Like, it is still a cool feeling to dive off of a building into a hay bale. I don't care that there's been 14 of these and I've done it a million times. It still feels satisfying as all get out. And even at the beginning when you're kind of training, she says that, like, the leap of faith is like that core element of it. And I was thinking about that as I was playing it. I was like, if an Assassin's Creed game did not have a leap of faith, it would not feel like an Assassin's Creed game anymore.
No, that would never changed.
No, it's been
how
exactly
they
the same.
flip, how they land, the sound effect, everything is exactly the same since day one.
But it's one of those things.
You synchronize at the top of one?
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like, anytime I see one of those dang towers, I'm excited to climb it. I'm excited to synchronize, and I look forward to my jump down.
I'm not excited to climb it, but I'm excited to get a new travel point.
No,
that is true.
Climbing it isn't all that hard. I mean, they make it a little puzzly now, but
yeah,
that's not really a puzzle.
I actually have a question. This is actually, I know I said I was done with story, and this is kind of story related. Is your eagle supposed to represent your connection to the technology world? Because it says synchronize, and you like synchronize with your eagle. And I just had that thought as I was playing. I said it was like represented your connection there.
Pretty common too. When you synchronize, it always does the panoramic.
I know that it's common, but that's why I was saying is like that's why it's always the overarching. It happens in every game. You always have your bird, and it's always synchronized. So that's like your connection to like give you all your unlock points and all those. I don't know. It was just a weird thought I had.
So you were playing as the player, and I guess that's why it's called synchronization. Because I guess what you're saying isn't wrong.
Yeah,
but it's not like your, Bassam here is actually synchronizing with anything.
You're synchronizing.
He himself
to the bird.
is actually going and memorizing. Yeah, but the bird is a real bird, and it's supposed to be there with him and like giving him information. It's just you as a player is who's synchronizing.
That's fair. It was just a weird random thought I had that I was playing.
Another element that I've enjoyed, I think this has kind of been the evolution of these Assassin's Creed games. And I'll give them credit in this one. The first time I remember this happening was it Syndicate that took place in France?
Unity
took place in France. Syndicate
was the
in
French
England.
Revolution.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Syndicate was England in the industrial era.
So the first one I remembered then, it was Unity that really leaned into the historical element of the game. I will give them props for this. They do a good job in this game of introducing you to historical facts of the area.
Yeah.
And, they did that in some of the newer games as well. I will give them props for that. I think that's kind of a smart way of kind of showing that you put attention and care into trying to recreate that area. And because I remember, didn't they do like this whole thing with like the Notre Dame Cathedral and Unity was like scaled 1-to-1?
Yeah, they did. I guess you're right. Like they did do a good amount with Unity. I know for the big one was Odyssey.
Yeah, I was gonna say Odyssey had like a whole like historical option. Like you could basically turn off combat and be like, I just want to learn the history of Greece.
Yeah,
you could turn like a fly on camera and kind of scope the area because they did the whole landscape to 1-to-1. But in Unity, I remember, they did do main key structures 1-to-1, but I don't think they exactly did France 1-to-1.
No,
you are right.
No.
I guess they did start to do more.
I think it was like historical places and stuff like that. They went and actually kind of recreated those out as a way to go and visit them in video game. I'll give them credit for that. I think that's a really smart idea to take a fantasy game, but actually show some care and attention to kind of trying to match some of the historical attachments to it. I think that's just a smart thing to do. And this game had it too. Whether you can ignore it, it's all optional. But again, you see that stuff kind of pop up as you go and visit these areas, and it would give you kind of a little introduction into what that was. I think that's cool. It's, again, small, but I think a smart move for them to do stuff like that.
So yeah, I was just looking at it. It's and this is kind of what you were saying, but they had Discovery Tour mode in an Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It turned off all enemies, and you could just teleport around, but like you walked around the map and like could just explore it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it was like a sandbox mode, which is something that no other game like it has done, which is at least unique. So there's something to be said for that.
I can't really think of an equivalent of a game that has some historical connection that actually spends the time. Obviously, there's probably some RTSs that exist that do stuff like that, but
say that or so like combat focused, because otherwise it's like a Minecraft and you have sandbox mode or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, clearly you haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah,
again, but that's a strategy game.
Is that based?
No, first person action RPG.
Person. But is it actually historically based off of stuff?
It is. It's very cool.
I thought it was.
I
thought it was a fictional area.
No, it's Bohemia. No, it's actually during an actual war. So it's during Wenceslas and I'm drawing a blank on the other Sigismund, his cousin Sigismund, when they're kind of fight over in Bohemia. It's a real war that happened. Even the characters you're interacting with, you can go to a codex and it actually gives you historical documentation on it. Sometimes they'll straight up say like, oh, there was no description of this person's, appearance, but he's described as this. So that's why he looks like this.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very, very cool.
Okay.
If you actually dig into Kingdom Come Deliverance, they do a very good job with the historical.
See, I would encourage more games to do stuff like that. I think that's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like that's what I liked about like the Assassin's Creed. It is kind of cool going through these like kind of ancient times. Like I said, I was just a little disappointed in like this era because it's like, oh, we've kind of say a Middle Eastern.
Hold
area.
on.
But
what era would you like to see at this point? This is where I say
Detroit.
I think it gets modern day Assassins. I just think we've kind of tapped out most of the market. So what would you like to see at this point?
I mean,
South America. Have we seen South America?
Yeah.
Well,
are there assassins there? I don't know.
They finally did it, but feudal Japan was always the number one. But feudal China would still be very cool. And they did these 2D games of China and Russia, which people were like, why are you not doing the full Assassin's Creed games on these? Those 2 locations alone would be very cool to do.
Keith, actually, you did just hit me there a little bit. I could see like a Mayan Assassin's Creed.
Okay. Another what I was going to say is
they are coming out with one. They're doing a Salem witch-ish era one. It's currently code named Hex, but it's like hinted at that it's kind of supposed to be like a Salem witch trial kind of era. Which
interesting. What are you going to be like a Robin Hood type thing?
Which to this day, I wish it was so much better than it was because I do remember playing this one. What was the Assassin's Creed during the American Revolution?
3. I think it was just called 3.
It was just the third one, right? That was a sick era.
That could have been Patriot.
Yeah, but most people didn't like that one. Generally, what it is almost everybody universally says, because Andrew said at the beginning of this episode, which one would you recommend? I think an Assassin's Creed fan, 10 out of 10 times would recommend Black Flag. It seems like Black Flag is universally.
Black Flag's fun.
They claim there's been a lot of rumors that that's being remade right now.
Yes, which is also another bungled thing of Ubisoft. People have been requesting a remastered of Black Flag for the longest time, and which they were going to do, but it turned into Skull and Bones.
Yes. So
now that Skull and Bones is kind of done,
was just a worse version of the pirate ship battles.
Yeah, but everyone liked that one because it introduced something very unique, and that was ship combat, and that was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do remember that one. That one was pretty good. I mean, is it better than Sea of Thieves combat? I don't think so.
Wildly different game.
Yeah, no, they're both pirate ships. But yeah, so yeah, that's my whole point. My bigger point was just you're getting close to where you're running out of, I think, unique eras. Even if you went and did a Russia one, during what time period? Is that just going to feel like Brotherhood and a little bit of Unity? Is it going to feel very similar?
Say like Persia, because you have like Prince of Persia, and I don't know, like that.
That's still kind of Middle Eastern.
You're all over the Middle East.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of death.
You could do Russia with the invasions of the Mongols.
What about like the
guess.
Scottish
Scottish
the
would be cool.
English Revolution?
But again,
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
still going to feel samey?
Probably. I mean,
we've been through Western Europe.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing that you kind of are, but what, we have 7 continents? Like you're going to run out at some point.
Well, I know.
Dimitri in chat suggested underwater.
No, I get it.
Do it.
There we go. Go far and go into the future. They're going to project out what your DNA is going to be, and you're going to
It's a
host
fish.
out your.
I'm just saying Andrew's criticism
lizards.
is that it needs to be in a different locale. My whole point is it's still going to feel kind of samey.
What about Assassin's Creed in the Cars universe?
A Disney crossover with Assassin's Creed.
Ooh, they'll re-release Black Flag, but with Johnny Depp.
My gosh.
Like, why is it? Oh, because they're not EA. That's why that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, not yet. That's Activision. Activision.
Anyways.
Yeah, so all that to say, gameplay wise, it's Assassin's Creed. This just doesn't do anything different. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a single. I don't know if there's a single element in here that was like, oh, that's surprising.
What difficulty did you play on, Andrew? I'm hoping you played on hard, just because I need to know.
No, I think I just did normal. No, because I think the hard, you only had like 1 death or something like that. Or no, if you died, it like sent you back super far. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That just sounds like a headache. No, I think I just did normal.
Oh, I was hoping you played on hard, because I played on normal as well. And
when you've only got a week to review.
Exactly.
It's a matter of
that is why I've been playing with easy a lot more lately. But the reason I asked is like it mentioned specifically not the AI, but like the computer intelligence, and after they're just nonsensically dumb on normal. So I didn't know if they were actually smart at all on hard.
See, I mean, we're glossing a bit over with the gameplay, but I mean, this is where I think the game does shine. Because like I said, this is much like old school Assassin's Creed. When you assassinate someone, they die. And it's like, oh, this is actually fun. Because I got kind of sick of that grind of, oh, my gear score is not high enough. When I assassinate someone, it only takes half their health, and I have to go into combat. I'm like, this is annoying.
No, I loved it.
And I like that it's just killing people. And it's to me, this is a much more relaxing Assassin's Creed experience. There's not a lot of like in the modern ones, it's like liberating forts. And if you get caught once, they raise alarms, and now you're fighting just hordes of enemies, and it's like, oh, this is annoying.
Sounds awesome.
And this, it's like if you get caught, you fight maybe like 2-3 guys, and all right, cool, I get to move on. To me, this is just a more relaxing Assassin's Creed that I don't have to feel like I have to, devote so much time to.
I'm so.
Because you disagree, or your face is like.
See, I'm so in the middle on this because I like both styles of those gameplay, and I think that both are fine within Assassin's Creed. But also, I think if I want to play like Fort Liberation and gear score and grinding and all of that, please just give us another Shadow of War game. Just that's all I want. If I want that style, truthfully. But I'd take it in Assassin's Creed, because Odyssey was pretty fun. It had some of those elements. But I also do just like kind of just being able to take out like 10 guys in rapid fire, just like assassination. It doesn't matter what they are, leaping from buildings, and just having that my core mechanic for kills. I think both are fun, and Assassin's Creed has done both. I just think it does the current one that we're playing best.
Keith might have just kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Keith actually said something that was intelligent.
Is Shadow?
This is how Aaron's gonna get me to just quit the podcast. He's gonna be like, Keith finally said something right, so I'm done.
Is Shadow of War the greatest Assassin's Creed game ever made?
Probably.
I mean, even the Nemesis system, is a perfect.
It made sense.
As obviously it was patented, so you don't see it in anything else. So it was very unique to that.
Well, I think it's actually going to be free soon.
I don't know.
The patents almost up, I
think. The company went under, and then it's, there's talks about selling off some of those patents. So we'll see. My whole thing is, now that Keith mentioned it, I was like, oh, dang, the assassinations were really good in that. The action was really good in that. The Nemesis board is better than any of the assassination boards in these games.
Yeah.
Although, again, I did like it in Odyssey. I did have a lot of fun with that. But what was cool with the Nemesis one is it was always evolving. It was always kind of changing and altering.
You never got the same
Man.
fight twice, really.
Yeah, the best Assassin's Creed ever made is Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War.
Yeah, that's one of those games that I don't think about a lot, but when it hits my brain, it might have been one of my favorite games ever created. Honestly,
It was so good.
It had just all of the right elements. But
I gotta
anyways,
fire that
we're
back
talking about
up.
this.
I gotta fire that back up. It's been a while.
See, I feel like the more I'm talking about this game, I guess I probably actually would recommend this as a first-time Assassin's Creed game.
That's the thing, right? Nothing was bad about this game. I wouldn't say anything was bad outside of the story. I would say the story is bad. But gameplay-wise, like, if you're looking to just experience Assassin's Creed, I really have nothing to fault you on. I would agree. I think the Ubisoft version of this map is less aggressive. It is nowhere near what we were doing on Watch Dogs. That's just an absolute disaster. This is a little bit cleaner. It's still got a decent amount on there. 16 hours is not a long time. Like, that's an okay amount of game. Enough little hidden things, as Andrew's kind of pointing out here on the screen. You can kind of see on the right there's a bunch of little hidden things you can go find around the map to kind of keep you busy. I'm really
Clean
curious.
menu too. Like, look at that. Just
when you
6 tabs,
fire
one
this
tab.
up, I don't think it was here when the game launched, but it has a new game plus. Obviously, none of us have gotten to that point yet. What do you think that would look like? This just doesn't seem like a game that would need
Well, it tells you right at the beginning
a new game plus.
that you keep your skills and I think your gear.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
And I think that was like it.
then what?
Actually,
that's
you just reminded me, Andrew. That's what the hard mode is, and almost made it intriguing. Not fully roguelike because there's nothing procedurally generated about this. But when you die, you keep all of your skills and I think gear, but you start from the beginning every time you die on hard. So it's got this weird element. Oh, I wouldn't want to do it, but it's got this weird element of like, yeah, if you've got 5 hours into the game, well, you're going to breeze through those first 5 hours in probably an hour now. Although it's not all about gear. It's more about the skills.
That's going to be another one of my complaints. The skills in this game are wildly unimpressive. You have 3 trees of like, the center one is all about your gadgets. Are you carrying more gadgets? Do you have more perks with your gadgets? You have one that's kind of, so in other Assassin's Creed, it usually was like, oh, one's based on like physical combat, one's based on like scouting, and one's based on like assassinations. In this one, it seemed they're all kind of like a mix mash, except for the middle one was straight up gadgets. But it's like, but none of the skills seemed that good. Like usually when I'm looking through the skill tree, I'm like, oh, I want to get that perk. That perk, lets me instantly teleport and assassinate people and do all this crazy stuff. These were very much just like, oh yeah, your vision's a little bit better. You can now reveal people through the enemies when you're crouching. And it's like, yeah, those are okay.
But didn't that feel more like a classic Assassin's Creed, though?
Yes.
Because I feel like the newer ones, those skill trees are massive. And there's a bunch of totally crazy things that you can start to build into this. This just
then
feels,
you feel forced to do the side quest stuff so you could get the skills to get those good stuff.
Which I didn't mind doing because I like those games. But this one, it just seemed like a pared down version. It was very focused on you just focusing on progressing your missions and assassinating people. It just
it's like it was supposed to be like a re-release of the first one or some weird DLC to the first one that they just slopped out into a full game.
I don't want to call it slopped. Again,
I know it's so funny. Well, because I was going to say at the very beginning, because Andrew and I both called this a game in some varying level. You called it pass, but we've all agreed on every single aspect of this game as well.
Side.
Well, either way, we've all just about agreed on this game and said nothing bad about it.
That was part of the thing that I figured out at the beginning when Andrew came at it as negative, but for a different, but at a different point. Where I was negative at a different point. So, we all kind of agree. But yeah, I do want to be, like I said at the beginning, I don't think this is a cash grab. It's just not AAA. It definitely feels like it was just a smaller group of people with a very focused vision on what this thing was going to be. And it's not anything outside of that.
Not that my opinion matters a whole lot, but to be clear, I don't want to call it a cash grab. I don't think it's that.
Slopped.
I did call it slopped.
Slopped it out.
I did say slopped. I will admit to those words, but I did not call it a cash grab. All I was saying is that it felt like it was kind of just thrown together a little bit. But that's all I'm saying.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I don't know if I'd say it was thrown together. I just don't think it received its AAA gloss. That's all.
Yeah, I say copy and paste.
Is there even a cash shop on this thing?
Yes.
Was there?
Of course. It's
Ubisoft.
There's all kinds of skins you can get.
I didn't even bother looking for them.
I did.
It was.
I mean, it's definitely less because
and they don't throw
playing...
in your face as much either. I will say that too.
That's why I was kind of thinking. I was like, I remember going through the menus pretty cleanly, and in previous Ubisoft games, you cannot go through menus cleanly
because they're RPGs. They're all about grinding. So they're like, hey, do you want a shortcut? Do you want to buy a shortcut?
Yeah.
Do you want to buy, do you want to reveal a map?
But even the skins, they were aggressive in Odyssey, from what I remember.
They were.
I was going to give these guys, at least a gold star, but now I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind the
microtransactions.
I did not get aggressively thrown into my face. Because I distinctly remember when I'm playing a Ubisoft game, it is throwing ads in my face to go check out their cash shop. I just didn't see it.
Thrown in your face is that Ubisoft Connect thing, and it's thrown on your screen in the worst resolution possible, and so I'm just like, what is this?
I've been playing it on PC, and I do hate this about Game Pass on PC. You have to download everybody's launcher to play it.
Oh, you do?
Yes. So I have an EA launcher.
On the Ubisoft launcher?
I have an Ubisoft launcher. Oh. I have a Blizzard launcher. So every time you actually install the game, you launch it, it launches the launcher first, which I cannot stand. So that little Ubisoft Connect thing is all built into it. I'm like, get this out of my face. So yeah, that's also a negative on the gameplay. Ubisoft Connect.
All right. But getting into the audio though, the music is fine. It fits well with the music. This voice actress, I'm sure you've all know who I'm talking about. How do you say her name?
Roshan.
Yeah, Roshan.
Yeah.
That's the character.
Hey.
But the voice actress is Shari Agdashlu.
I'm one of your
the you probably don't know her name, but you know her voice.
And
she has the
disrespect to her as a human being.
Voice.
No. It's a very weird choice to get that as a voice actress.
Because the character she's playing is kind of younger, and it didn't fit I thought with the character.
It's just a tough voice to listen to.
It is.
It's just a tough voice.
This is a weird throwback. But do you guys remember playing Dota? Because that's all I know the name Roshan from, and I'm sure that it's actually historically accurate to Baghdad and all that. But that's all I know it from. But yeah, her voice was weird. From a music standpoint, all I had playing in my head the entire time was Aladdin. I was just playing.
I was hoping you'd say Creed.
The one jump ahead of the lawman as I'd be running away. That was just playing in my head constantly.
Okay, that wasn't in my head at all.
And then I thought of the Lion King, and I cried in the fields. Oh, wait, nope, that was Aaron.
Don't try and flip this on me. Don't try and flip this on me. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. All right, voice acting, fine-ish, mostly fine. Yeah. It felt again kind of rushed, kind of by the books. I'm actually gonna give a little props though. I actually think the music is pretty decent. It's actually better than I'd expect it to be in a product like this. So again, not where the game feels rushed. A double A game, not a AAA game. But this has some actual voiced music. And even when it was introducing you to the game. So again, playing this on an ultra wide monitor is actually kind of pretty trippy. Games are kind of funny with ultra wides. Like some have full support, some don't. This was a hybrid. So when it did the Assassin's Creed Mirage logo, when the music really rises there, really cool, it went to widescreen. But then it would go tighter whenever there was dialogue. So it would just kind of close in the black boxes on the side for it. So that scene was really cool because it widened open and the music hit. And I was like, oh, that's really cinematic. That was actually really well done. And I took note. I was like, the music's actually, again, there are people singing these. So this isn't just some kind of cheaply put together music. This sounds like somebody actually spent some time making this music. So I will give it a gold star on music.
Will tell you, and this is like something that I would imagine I am 100% wrong on, but this is actually more of the dumb American brain that Andrew was saying earlier. That could be any Arabic music because I just don't know the words. I'm not, no, I'm not. And it was good.
Okay,
I'm 100% agreeing with you. It's just in my brain when you talk about that being like voiced over. I'm like, I don't know. Did they just grab that from somewhere? I don't know. It was good.
This is coming from the guy that said he was singing Aladdin while playing this game.
Because Aladdin is fantastic and it was fun. And that's not even a joke. I really was. Maybe not singing out loud, but in my head. But my point being is,
guess where Aladdin doesn't take place? Baghdad, which is where this game takes place.
I don't
actually know where
Aladdin takes place. It takes place in the Middle East somewhere.
Agrabah. You don't know that? Come on.
Is Agrabah a real city?
No, it is not.
Okay, thank you. Anyways, my biggest point being
supposed to be Persia.
Is that I mean, the music is good, and I wasn't saying it was bad. I just, in my brain, I'm like, I don't know, is this like genuinely licensed music that they created for this, or was it just like, I don't know, like free music?
stock Arabic music.
I don't know if so what you're saying is you will not give them a gold star because you don't actually know if this is original music or not.
No, but I will give them a very polished silver star.
Okay.
This isn't like Halo that I'm like, I know that someone recorded. But it fits perfectly. That scene was awesome. I agree with you.
I'm venturing a guess here. I'm going out on a limb here. Because the music it has a modern feel to it. It definitely has some beats in there. I'm going to guess this is all original music, but this is just me speculating here. But they will take your very polished silver star. I'm sure they're happy with that.
They've been waiting to find out what I gave it.
I will say, at least the gold star I give for the music, I do like that there is quite a bit of like Arabic being spoken, especially when you're running through the street. It works well.
Are you sure it is, Andrew?
That's true. It could be stock Arabic language.
So since we cannot,
they just typed in Google Translate the words they wanted.
Yes. I also love the best thing about this podcast is we do zero integrity in researching this. So Keith just threw out an accusation there with literally zero research. Some guy who wrote this music is probably listening to this like, what the heck? As Keith's going, do I know that someone wrote this? And again,
there wasn't credits at the beginning.
we could have looked that up. So Keith could have done a quick Google search, and instead,
truthfully, I'm not going to look at the credits even if I did.
so Keith just threw out an accusation, gave him a silver star for no reason, and said, "Journalism complete," and walked away from it. So. Well done.
Well, are you going to check me on it?
Absolutely not. I gave him a gold star. I think it sounds good. If he stole it, then good on him. He's still getting a gold star. It was very well stolen music.
Oh, man. Graphics. Environments I thought were great. Character models I thought were very iffy.
People's faces can do that really creepy look.
Nope. I went too far down the road. I don't like it. It's by a guy named Brendan.
That guy definitely knows Arabic.
Like I can't trust that this is.
See, this is why you do not do the integrity.
This Google guy search. Absolutely just went to ChatGPT and was like, "Give me some Arabic music."
Help me out
Thanks,
here,
Brendan.
So
as an original
he
soundtrack?
did get Laith Sadiq. Okay.
So
sounds like a name I can trust.
Ubisoft is French. So do keep in mind Brandon Angelicidis is probably very French.
It's just some guy who works at Ubisoft and was like, he was tasked with it one day. And they were like,
we don't
he
know
just He just went to SoundCloud and he looked up what was free.
Oh, get out of here.
And he slapped us.
Hey, that's what Expedition 33 did.
Good point.
They went to SoundCloud.
Yeah, graphics.
There's our Expedition 33 reference. Okay.
Thanks. Environments looked pretty good. I have no real complaints there. The city itself looks pretty detailed.
Looked more like Jerusalem than Baghdad, though, honestly.
Oh, get out of here. A decent amount of NPCs in this game, but again, character models are, especially in some of those cutscenes. It was a mixed bag. Like every once in a while, you're like, oh, this isn't too bad. And then some, you're like, oh.
Well, so I put this picture in our Discord. I don't know if this was in everybody's game or if it was just some weird video glitch, but in one of the opening areas, you go in, there's like a bunch of little kids running around. You talk to one of them, and this child was like 6'2".
God.
You had that with the giant child. It's like, what is going on with this?
What was the one that was like, they just had the freakiest look staring at you as you're talking to them. And you're like...
Is that the kid that tries to pickpocket you?
No. This was like...
By the way, that kid... do you ever get a slingshot that kid created?
No.
Or they make a big deal about that kid creating a slingshot, and you're just like, anyways.
Kid died.
I wanted to buy that slingshot
but that's
off
why you should
right away.
You should have carried on his legacy and like taken his slingshot. I was waiting for a slingshot. That bothered me. That's a gameplay and story element. But yes,
as soon as I saw the slingshot, I said, how much is that slingshot? I'd like to buy it right now. But you couldn't.
That was in the special edition. You get that slingshot.
Yeah.
That a boy gets crucified at the beginning of the game. You get a slingshot.
You should be playing a linebacker in the NFL.
But you can see it even just in that brief picture. You see it in the eyes, and you know, oh, these eyes are not going to look right in some of these scenes. And they don't. They don't. Much like when graphics go a little funky in this, it's always eyes and teeth. The eyes and teeth are just always a little off.
See, this is when Andrew should have talked about the gunner glasses because his eyes look great right now.
Thanks. My eyes have so much less fatigue now. Achievements, though, the achievements are fine. They're very typical Assassin's Creed. You do get a handful of achievements that are very much gameplay specific. You know, make sure you, like, the easiest one I know even Keith got it, is, assassinate 10 people without raising an alarm. It's like, oh, that's easy. But a lot of it's, like, sleep 20 guards with a blow dart. Get like 50 headshots with throwing knives. So some of it kind of takes some time. But overall, the achievements are very manageable. And like I said, for a 16-hour game, I'd say it's a pretty solid game for achievement hunters. A lot of the achievements you're getting are just playing the game.
All of my achievements were on Ubisoft Connect. So that's where it's storing my achievements. So if you guys check me out on Ubisoft Connect,
send me a friend request.
You'll see all the achievements I got on that game.
Dang.
I hate these launchers so much. Like,
how does it not connect back to Xbox though? That doesn't make sense. Like, I get that they want you to have the launcher, but
it would do the same thing with Diablo. Every time I would fire up Diablo, you would click on it in Xbox, but then it would fire up a Blizzard launcher, and then you're launching it through Blizzard. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Like I did like
I can understand you have to play through the launcher. It's just the achievements should cross over. That's all.
No, it kept giving me Ubisoft Connect pop-ups for my achievements. I wasn't getting the Xbox ones.
Way less exciting.
Well, I mean, I don't care. Andrew loves collecting the achievements. I don't really care that much.
Did you only play this on Ubisoft Connect or on PC?
I did play one session on Xbox.
Oh, as I said, because you do have 2 achievements.
It does, it does progress. So that is, I guess, if anybody does want to know, it does cross progress. So there you go.
So if you just booted up your Xbox, you'd probably get a flood of achievements.
Maybe, I don't know. I knew I had some time to play it on my Xbox a little bit, but majority of the time I'm able to play it on my PC. So I figure of this group, when we do these podcasts, I can always kind of give a little bit more of the PC perspective on how it played. Just because it's easier for me to be able to play on my PC. Game ran great.
Play this with keyboard.
I mean, I didn't.
Well, I
think you can.
I know first-person shooters. A lot of people do because of mouse. But I just wonder if these games are, if everyone just gets a controller now.
You could. I'm sure there's some lunatic out there playing this on a mouse and keyboard. I'm not that lunatic though.
I love you were just saying, like, I'm playing on PC to kind of help people compare. And you're like, people are lunatics and they use a controller on PC.
If you are that
instantly insult
person
them.
who chooses to play all of your games on that and you are a well-mannered listener, just out there living your best life and Aaron is insulting you, please roast him.
No, actually, yes. I would like someone to comment. Yes, I play Assassin's Creed with a mouse and keyboard. I want to know who that person is.
Please make angry comments, Aaron, for calling you a lunatic.
Well, I really want people to do. I really want to know if someone never played Assassin's Creed, what Assassin's Creed would you say they should start
Black
with?
Flag, I already told you.
Wait, if someone... Oh, so this is a question for people who have played it.
Don't say Black Flag. 10 out of 10 will say it. I already told you. Black Flag.
I don't know, because when it comes to the future story, Black Flag is one of the most confusing ones.
Doesn't matter. The gameplay was so good, they don't care.
The gameplay was good, but I mean, like, if someone's like, I really want to get the Assassin's Creed story.
It's too late.
Well, see that, but I think that's where you. I think that's where you have to give.
Gave up.
I think that's where you give two separate recommendations because you're asking two separate questions. Is if I really want to dive into the Assassin's Creed series, where do I like?
Watch the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. But what game do I want to play versus what is the best Assassin's Creed game to play? I think you have two different answers there, right? Because Black Flag's obviously the latter. And then there's where do I jump into it? So
Michael Fassbender starred in the Assassin's Creed movie. Do you guys even remember that?
Yeah.
That's a name I recognize, but I could never tell you what he looks like until I see him.
Magneto? You don't know what Magneto looks like?
You still say things that I don't. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I recognize that guy.
I just
do not know X-Men, Keith.
And doesn't that take place in the Middle East? And they picked Michael Fassbender? What a time.
Yeah, because I think it's supposed to be like the original.
Remember when Jake Gyllenhaal was the Prince of Persia? Do you remember that?
I just saw there's a trailer for a Plants vs. Zombies movie too.
Hollywood was awesome back then. They did not care.
Listen.
And then they flipped, and now it's like, no, we gotta reverse every role here. But back then, they were just like, yeah, the Prince of Persia is clearly Jake Gyllenhaal. It's crazy.
Yeah, what a time.
What a time.
All right, let's get our final thoughts here on Assassin's Creed Mirage. So for me, like I said, I'm giving this, like I said, kind of a pass. But that's just, it's an Assassin's Creed game. If you know Assassin's Creed, you're gonna enjoy this. I don't know. I guess maybe I should give it a game because, like, if you're someone who's never played Assassin's Creed, I would say this is a pretty decent starting point. See if you like the series. If you want more, then stick to one of the heavy hitters of like Valhalla or Odyssey or Origins, where you're doing a whole lot of loot grinding and leveling up and skills and big open world. Like, then maybe, check one of those out. So I don't know, maybe Mirage is like a pretty decent starting off point. What you're getting here is a very kind of old school, kind of relaxing Assassin's Creed. It's not very hard. It's easy to map out the guards, assassinate people. If you get caught, you just fight a couple dudes and you're good to go again. It's just the story didn't do much for me. 8 hours in and I'm like, I am just assassinating people, stopping the order because they want to do bad things. And okay. And there was nothing new for gameplay wise. Pickpocketing people, chasing after, a piece of paper that's flying in the wind where I'm doing a parkour segment, assassinate people, take cover, don't get detected. It's all been there, done that. I don't know, but it's not bad. I'd still give it a 75.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still stick with a game, and it's almost like not in the same way I would rate a roguelike because I love them, and I don't love Assassin's Creed games, but I feel like they're just hard to go wrong by. They're all single player. They generally are pretty forgiving to the game player to make it fun and challenging without being aggressive. And I always know I'm gonna have fun when I play one, but they're all gonna be a little bit different. Is this the best one? Probably not. If you had just put a blanket over my eyes and handed me the controller and said, hey, here's a refurbished that's not a word that gets used with video games, but
Remastered?
Nope, I'm going to stick with refurbished version
I
of
like
the
that.
original Assassin's Creed. I would have been like, oh, cool, because it's been so long since I played that one. Probably would have just felt like the same thing to me. And that's, I think, the fourth different way I've rephrased the same thing tonight. Yeah, I think it's a game, and I think 70. Yeah, I'm gonna copy Andrew because I think 75 is a good score.
Odyssey is the best Assassin's Creed, and
No, Shadow of War is.
I'm willing. That's true. Shadow War is actually the greatest Assassin's Creed game ever made, but the actual Assassin's Creed game that is an Assassin's Creed game that is the best is Odyssey. And for me, it's like, well, why wouldn't I just play Odyssey? It's got a far superior story. It's still got the assassinations, yes, not in the way that Andrew likes it, where every assassination is just an assassination, but it's got way more to explore.
I'm sorry, if I stab a guy in the neck, I want him to be dead.
Yeah, well, if he's a higher level than you, that might take a little bit.
That's how
more to do
real
that.
world
Okay.
works.
Anyway, oh yeah, like this is all realistic. Shut up. So, if you're just looking for a simple, like Andrew did kind of describe it right, which is just kind of a laid back experience, Assassin's Creed experience, then that's fine. This can work for you, but I still think you'd be better off trying an older Assassin's Creed game than going to this one. So, the story's long gone, and again, the story here is not even compelling, so there's not even that much to draw you in on that front. It's not a bad game, but it's not. It's a pass for me still. I'm gonna give it a 68.
You also forgot to mention Odyssey has ship combat.
That's true. That's true. Not great ship combat, but not bad either.
But it's a change of pace.
It is. It is.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Make sure you go to GamePassGrabback.com. Make sure you check out our awesome website. If you want to see our past reviews of some of our games and have a quick highlight of our comments, check out GamePassGrabback.com. Or come join our Discord. I'll have our link tree also in the show notes. So you can come join, say hi, even join our live recordings. We record about every Wednesday around 9 o'clock EST. You can find it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel. I've been trying to stream more games. You know, we got handed a good amount of review copies of some indie games. And so I've been trying to do some gameplay footage of it. Been having a lot of fun with it. Keith just did one. Well, you didn't record any footage of it.
I took some clips.
Rat Shaker.
We could do a quick, probably 20 minutes. The game's an hour and a half long. It would,
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's another story.
But yeah, I've been streaming Ready or Not. Soon I'll be streaming some Helldivers. But yeah, go check out our YouTube. Come join us. And I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952. Yeah, if you're playing Helldivers, yeah, hit me up. I'm always looking for people to help uphold democracy.
Fire up the music.
Okay, don't want us to say anything else? I'm just
I have
awkwardly sitting here.
devolved over 6 years, and you know this.
We do not ever say something and you ask every time. Just fire the music up.
Okay. Well, you were going to talk it. I just paused it for you.
Bye.
We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
I do
Bye.
not love you. I don't know you.